best or worst date stories. And she said worst. He took me on a tour of the grocery store he managed.
Oh,
He said he didn't really eat anything, so I should pay for it. He got Dunkin' Donut and massive fizzy drink for a ride home.
for the ride home.
And she says I didn't go for a second date.
Yeah, no kidding. Welcome to the X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on. I'm Claire.
And I'm Janice. We are breakup coaches, here to help you beat your breakup,
Heal your broken heart,
and move on to an amazing, abundant life.
Hi, welcome to another episode of X-Files, everyone.
Welcome,
Spring
welcome.
is upon us, and
Thank God.
we're talking about a good springy topic today.
Spring
First
topic
dates.
is that your emotional spring, which is moving on, starting to date again.
Yeah,
to make
maybe
it
getting
through the
Twitter
winter.
pated. Like from
Twitter
Bambi.
pated.
That's what happens with all the animals in the spring. They get Twitter pated.
Oh my
You
God,
remember
I
that?
have never heard of that.
Yeah, I don't know where they came up with it, but yeah, it's where all the animals become attracted to another animal, you know, in preparation for mating season because it's spring.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Okay.
Now we have to do some social media on being Twitter pated.
Twitter pated. Yeah, we're all about like the throwback language on this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. And please, if anyone's familiar with Twitter painting, let us know so I don't feel so silly. And if you are ready to date again after a breakup or wanting to get to that point because you're still struggling with your breakup a bit, we would love to hear from you to offer you one-on-one support. We
Yeah.
are still accepting clients and love doing so. So DM us and we'll hook you up with a free consultation call, some information, and make sure that you start your spring with lots of support and on the right foot.
Sounds good.
So we are talking about first dates today. As I said, it's a fun topic and one that I think is really good for the show because some people feel like they just don't really know how to begin again.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
if
I
it's
think-
been a while since you've been on a first date, I think there
Right?
can be like a lot of nerves.
Yeah. Or
And-
maybe just even if it hasn't been a while, you know, like we talk about a lot, your confidence can sometimes be shot, or
Yeah.
maybe it has been a while and you just don't know how things are anymore.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think there are some right and wrong ways to do a first date, and it's something we
Yes.
have lots of experience with.
Yeah.
So we're going to help you out today.
Yeah.
We will begin with talking about our first date experiences, and I think we'll probably weave them into the show, but we've
Yeah.
had some really good first dates, or at least I have.
Yeah.
I know Claire isn't as sure
Right?
about that one, but we also have plenty of examples of some bad dates, which I think we're going to start with.
Yeah, which is so crazy because before outlining this episode, I was like, I don't think I've been on a bad first date. But then when I sat down and actually like described them, I was like, oh, most
Yeah.
of these are bad. They just weren't like horrifically bad.
Right.
Like, I think the men I've been on dates with have typically treated me with like a good amount of respect. Like there
Mhm.
wasn't anything so crazy that like you hear about on the internet where you're like, how is this person like walking around in the world still?
Yeah.
So
People who completely aren't the person, you know,
Yeah.
that type of nightmare. Yeah, I haven't had any real nightmares, but definitely
yeah.
things I would
Yeah.
not want to go through again, and certainly would I, you know, not
Yeah.
want others to go through.
Yeah. And I've definitely been on dates that did not stick to our rules. And I think that's what counts them as a bad date. For example, I think actually I think this might have been my first date ever, actually. I had some friends over at the house and the pizza guy came and he was cute. So I gave him my number because I had
Go
no
you.
shame. Yeah, so that was very exciting. But for a first date, he took me to Hermosa Beach, which was like an hour and a half away. And I literally didn't know this person. He was a pizza guy, so he was probably like 21. I was like 16.
Oh my God.
Like it
My
was
parents, that's so interesting.
I know. insane confidence in high school. Yeah, so I mean, there was like a parade or something happening there. So we went there, but then like on the way home, it
God,
was
an
like
hour and a half.
traffic and it took like 3 hours in the car. It was awful. And he was just like really, really dull. And
Yeah.
so it was like the date was boring because of that. And then another first date story, MAGA guy who told me all about his ex-fiance on the first date.
Wow.
Yeah, lucky for him, I was also fucked up and emotionally unavailable at the time, so I took it as a good sign that we were like on the same emotional page.
Oh, I see.
But
Okay.
yeah, I've
Yeah,
had
just don't mention your ex. I mean, even if you just mention it, there's just something about it. I mean,
yeah,
obviously we all have exes, but
yeah.
it just
It's
doesn't
not a
belong in a
first date
date. It
thing.
throws you off.
Like
Yeah.
we know you've probably dated before. We don't have to confirm it on the first date. Like the first date is like you're just making sure your vibes are, you know, compatible.
Mhm.
And then from there you start getting into things. Yeah, I had a date with a guy who lied about his height on OkCupid. It was my one OkCupid date. He was very funny and cool and all of these things, but the whole date I was sitting there being like, dude, you said you were 6 foot and you're like half a head shorter than me and I'm 5'8".
Oh,
Yeah, and I'm
I
like,
have a
this
lot of
is such a
sympathy for.
bummer because
Yeah.
he had a lot of points that were like really winning points for him that just totally got negated from lying about his height. So don't do
Yeah.
it.
I feel bad for men with this whole emphasis on height these days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
hard because I
do.
get it with like filters and everything. They know they
Mhm.
won't even be seen by a lot of girls because they have their
Yeah,
height
exactly.
filters.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
and then first date with dumpster fire,
Uh-huh.
which like on the surface was like, this is the best first date ever, but it was like 12 hours long. I was so excited I couldn't even eat. We went to like 5 different places, but in retrospect, it was very love bomby. And I think that a lot of the seeds that made the relationship so painful were planted on that day. And I think that if I had kept it to like a 2-hour date and like we were wine tasting, so like maybe 2 different places, not 5.
Yeah, I know multiple people who have gotten with someone who they also had these marathon first dates with.
Yeah,
And it's really,
it's a
really tricky
marathon.
and it's really
Yeah.
risky and it's actually really dangerous because when you
Yeah.
have this type of chemistry where you just want to keep hanging out with someone and then
Yeah.
you have this, date that you go on to say was so romantic because you stayed together, 12 hours. It's
Yeah.
like you already start to write this story about the two of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, I would have been more objective. I think I would have
Mhm.
had clear eyes and avoided some heartache if I had not gone so hard on that first date. And, here's a big point. We talk about sex on the first date a lot. We
Mhm.
didn't even have sex. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
like so yeah, so that I think had a huge effect on the following relationship. So it was like I had a really good time, but I count it as a bad date. Yeah.
Yeah. Same with what I'm going to talk about first. Yeah, keep it short and sweet,
Yeah.
everyone, with the first date. You'll thank us later.
Yeah.
So a couple of my bad first dates were both people I met online, actually.
Awesome.
So first of all, one of them that really stood out to me was I very much thought that we were doing just a drinks thing. I would probably say I was very much learning about how to have boundaries again
Yeah.
after being in a really, really bad relationship where I just wasn't used to using my voice. And he just really acted like seriously and just like couldn't believe that I just thought we were going to have drinks. And I knew I should have just gone home and had my
What?
boundary, but I didn't, and kind of let him talk me into it. Yeah. I mean, I would, same as you, like, it was fun, but then I realized after
Yeah.
he was kind of a jerk, and I was honest with him on the date that like I even had other dates lined up. I was actually going on a trip with a guy like the following weekend, and he sent me some really disrespectful texts about it afterwards. And he still wanted to see me, I was just like, what did I do? You know?
Oh my God.
I don't think I'd
Yeah.
be so easily talked into something today, but you know, we'll see. My filtering is a little better, I think, as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of regretted it. And then this is a good story. So I had a date with someone who I met also on OkCupid when I was living in Santa Cruz, and he was really excited about it. And he was so good looking, everything. Oddly, I realized as I was writing this, I let him pick me up, which I really never did, but I think I might have waited outside the building at least. But yeah, for whatever reason, I don't know. So he was very good looking, but just like immediately it was off. We were going to do my favorite thing, which is have a drink.
Have a drink.
And, yeah, we were not the drink is my favorite thing, but well, almost.
You like a vibey place. You like going and having an experience.
Yeah, for a first date. Yes. Yeah. And we'll talk about why that's a good idea later on. But he was just like, where should we go? Where should we go? What's good? And I kind of thought, I don't know. He hadn't planned it at all. And he just, he was kept on. And so, I suggested a couple places, and then we drive downtown, and he doesn't know how to get there. And he keeps on asking me to like direct it where he's going, which I just kind of find stressful in general.
Yeah.
Like, where should I go? Where is it? And then once we get down there, he wants me to like figure out where to park, like tell him where to go to park.
Oh my God.
It's like,
he's like, I'm looking for a mother.
It was just so not sexy.
Yeah.
Like, figure it out, and as far as parking goes, I get kind of stressed out when people are getting stressed out about parking. Like, it's a crowded area.
You do.
Yeah, just
I've even like, I feel like I've even witnessed it. Driving you places, you're like, please don't make me navigate. And I'm like, all right.
I don't want to navigate, and I don't want to figure out where to park. And just be asking over and over and over, where. And so
God.
I just was kind of put off from the beginning. Like, I just kind of saw him as, I don't know, really passive and kind of incompetent. I don't know. It's just not a good way to start a date. So that stood out to me.
Yeah. Like, that reminds me of Sweatpants Guy, who I know we've talked about my first date with him.
Yeah.
Because like I suggested a place, so I guess I avoided that part. But like, once we got to the restaurant, I had been sitting outside, and he was like, well, where do you want to sit? And I'm like, we could keep sitting where I am. And he was like, let me think about it. And the host is like standing there, and we're like making eye contact, me and the host, and we're like, oh my God, this guy cannot decide if he wants to sit inside or outside. And like, he couldn't decide what to drink. And it was just like, the indecision was so,
I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's just not hot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Decisive. And also, I guess maybe I want to be with a decisive
man. Well, I think also we're pretty, we are very powerful individuals. We make a lot of decisions throughout the day.
Yeah.
We like run businesses. We don't want to be running the relationship as well. So,
likely talk about that. And also, I would never show up and just be like, oh.
Yeah, have a plan. Have a game plan. Be willing to adjust. Like, obviously, if the person involved is like, I don't want to go there, adjust. But like, have kind of a top 3 places that you can like run through. Be like, how about this place? Yes or no? And that's an easier thing.
I just want to touch on something that you said about the sweatpants. So I've been talking about this a lot recently with people. I mean, in my personal life, I'm kind of starting to date, and I do a Wednesday night clubhouse room, as you know, and we talked about first dates recently. And I have to say, one of the things that I keep on hearing over and over again is women saying that something that made a date bad for them was the guy showing up like he hadn't even showered or was wearing track pants or sweatpants or something that's dirty, so I would, encourage the men out there who are dating to we'll talk more about that, but that is a common complaint. And I have a hilarious DM from one of our listeners. All right, so I asked best or worst date stories, and she said worst. He parked in a disabled spot. He took me on a tour of the grocery store he managed. He got annoyed at the waiter at an Indian restaurant when they said they didn't serve chips or anything that wasn't Indian food. He said he didn't really eat anything, so I should pay for it. Got drunk. He got Dunkin' Donut and massive fizzy drink for a ride home. That's hilarious.
For the ride home.
Tried to throw the trash out of the car while speeding on the highway. And she says, I didn't go for a second date.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh my God.
That's pretty bad. No. And I also had a friend recently tell me that she went on a date with someone she met online, and he really went out of his way whilst they were DMing to overemphasize what a gentleman he was. And then he showed up and he didn't have really a plan, so they went to a Mexican place, and he asked her to pay, and it's just like, where was the gentleman?
And like, I think we are both very pro women and equality, but if the first place you're trying to be equal is on paying for dates, when I've like put on like $150 worth of makeup and an outfit and like,
it's just not really even with the gentleman vibe. And she said that the thing is that he had really kind of suggested that like he was taking her out, and so
which like like you can have different preferences, I think.
I think that's why the drinks is good on a first date, because you can eat kind of maybe each get one, and also it's just that's not like, as much of an issue, but
it's not as expensive. But Sweatpants guy did ask to split the drinks with me. We each had one drink, so it was like an $8 tab for me, and I'm like,
see,
really?
And that just doesn't really feel dirty.
It just
but
exactly. Like, I think on the first date, as things stand socially as a man, just offer to pay as a man. Like, on the first date, you can then figure out in your relationship like what you're doing from there. But like, I think first dates, just assume. Like,
agreed. So it's such a tricky topic, but I completely agree with you. And I just think that that's the vibe as far as heterosexual relationships go that a lot of people are into. So have you had good first dates?
I have had good first dates. None of them involved paying for drinks, and they were all hiking.
Good point.
So you can tell what my vibe is dating. First date with my ex-fiance was really, really good, but we had like known each other before that. We didn't meet on the app. So, we had already like, gone rock climbing and all this stuff together as friends. So, but our first date was hiking. And since I knew him, we hiked up this super steep hike in the Gaviota Wind Tunnel. Shout out to my Santa Barbara peaks. All of this will be a throwback for you. But it was really good. And, like, I think that we're predominantly talking about like dating app first dates here, because those are kind of, if you already kind of know the person as a friend, like, I feel like the first date is a lot easier and has a lower chance of being like a complete disaster.
Well, you know what you're getting into if you commit to hanging out with someone for a couple hours that already.
But I have done a hiking date with someone I met off of the apps. I did Inspiration Point with Navy guy, and I say the place because anyone who knows Santa Barbara, that's the busiest fucking hike ever. Like, you are never alone on that hike. So that's why I felt safe doing it. I wouldn't normally recommend just like going into the wilderness with someone you haven't met before.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And that was like, it was really good conversation and all of that. And I had done a little bit of research on him myself, which I guess we could talk about. I don't know if we have a spot for like, how much research should you do to be safe as a woman?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
I mean, I did enough research to make me feel like I kind of knew who I was meeting. Not like know the person, but like I knew his background and everything. And it was funny because he's like, you might not know this, but I'm in the Navy. And I'm like, dude, of course I know that.
Because you had looked him up?
Yeah, well, also I think like one of his pictures was like a selfie picture. So his last name was in the picture on his uniform, but it was backwards. And so like I found him on Instagram in about like 2 minutes, and like I'm like, dude, I've already stalked you online.
I don't know. I just don't have time to do that. Or I choose, that's something I would choose
I
not
think,
to spend my time doing.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see.
like being like, here, friend, you can like have people arrest this person if I go missing. Basically, that's like the level I do. So
yeah, good point. I mean, but also why you should take some of the safety measures that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk about safety, but I thought that was funny that he didn't realize
that you could just see it and that you would have gone and looked.
Dude.
I'm kind of more the type that will go and research someone like after I met them, which I have done.
Yeah.
So I've had a number of great first dates as well that also did not involve me paying for drinks. I met a guy in Melbourne who was from New York. We, really hit it off. He was only in town for the weekend,
cool.
but he invited me to go out with him, and he just wanted to just, do it up. And it was just like, it was so dreamy. We just went to like probably 5 of the hottest spots and just, had such good drinks and such good food. And he just, he was having such a good time. And we talked, and talked. And, he spoiled me, and it was fun. Really, it was just, we had so much fun. And this is a bit of I wouldn't say it's more creative, but I got asked on a date with a guy who was in my dance community in Melbourne, and he did something kind of cool. And again, I knew him and had friends in common, and I would not do this if I had met him on a dating app. But he planned this really fun night where he made this homemade cacao, and then he took me to go look for kangaroos because I'm American, and that was very crazy to me. And it was crazy. We went into the woods, and there was all these kangaroos around, and I think they have night blindness or something, and they didn't even act like they could see us. It was really crazy. We got so close to a kangaroo at one point that I was actually a little scared because it was just like right there, and it was just looking at us. And I don't think they saw us.
Oh my God.
So that was really
so
good.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That was a fun part of living there for sure. And I've had so many good ones. I wrote down 4 here. Another guy in Melbourne who I also knew and had friends in common, he did the same thing. He planned something out. He took me to like the nicest seafood place in Melbourne that was on the waterfront, and then we went for a walk after, and he was really cool and took me home, and we ended up dating for quite a while after that. But it was a really good way to start things off for sure. He dressed up, and it was just everything that you kind of want in a classic first date.
Yeah. Nice.
So do you want to talk about rules of thumb?
Yes.
For first dates.
So here's the game plan, guys. We're gonna go through what I thought were generic, like good advice. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to discuss things that I don't have, like, I'm not sure what my perspective is on yet. So Janice and I can possibly agree, possibly disagree. we've got things that Janice isn't sure about that we'll talk about. And then I have Claire's rules that you'll probably hate / disagree with. And same for Janice. So those are kind of like how we're going to go through this. We're going to start with like, we're pretty sure we're on the same page for the next
You're
one.
Creating a very nice container for everyone to know what they're in store for the next few minutes.
You're welcome.
What a good coach, everyone.
Yeah.
Creating the container.
I am holding space right now for first date advice. So, number 1, do be realistic. And what I mean by this is you're not going to click with everyone. You're probably going to not click with most people. Thank God, because like, yes, you have more than one in the world, but like you don't really want to date or like end up marrying everyone you meet. And I think that's a good thing. So you're shooting for predominantly not clicking with people.
Good point.
So have your expectations be that instead of like going into every date. Like,
the number of times we've heard from people who were so discouraged after a first date with someone, it really makes me sad. You know, it's just how it goes. And also it helps you with communication. It helps you. Don't be too down if that happens, please.
Yeah. Related to that, do lower the pressure on yourself. So, you know, this is supposed to be something that is enjoyable, possibly for both parties, even if it doesn't lead to a second date. So just like, you know, lower that pressure that you have to say the right thing, look perfect, blah, 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 the whole time. Cool. Don't get dinner on the first date.
Agreed. I know that my stories, you know, one of them did involve dinner, but again, he knew me. He was trying to impress me because he knew me. And so in that case, I feel like it's a little different, but absolutely not. If you're meeting someone on an app or haven't met or being set up or whatever, no. Really.
Yeah, nothing is worse than not being able to leave a date that is like boring you to tears because you just got your appetizers. So and I think that having the feeling of wishing that the date had lasted longer is a good thing because you can like, I don't think a lot of these rules apply on the second date. So, you know.
Well, and how much more fun is it going to be if you have dinner on the second date after you know that you're kind of cooking with someone?
You're going to like look forward to it after that. So, I guess this one's more of a recommendation. Do have plans afterwards. So this helps keep you to like a time limit for the date. So whether those plans are to watch the latest episode of Love is Blind with ice cream at home alone or like go out clubbing with friends, like make plans so you or them don't overstay your welcome. And that kind of just like you have places to go, you're in demand, you like very sexy. So I think that's a good rule of thumb.
So another good rule of thumb, I guess we do have to say this because I've even heard stories recently where this was not kept or followed. Keep it public. Do not go to someone's house on a first date. Do not get picked up. Do not get dropped off.
Yeah.
Okay. I really think that Uber is such a good thing for a first date. It's exciting. Well, I don't know if an Uber is so exciting, but it's just like kind of creates a nice vibe, like I'm getting dropped off somewhere, I'm, having someone do it for me. It allows you to, be able to have a cocktail because you don't have to drive yourself home. And also it just makes, leaving a lot easier because you're like, my Uber's here. Really. Do wear something that you're comfortable in. All right. You do absolutely want to feel fabulous, but also you want to be wearing something that you're used to wearing and that you're comfortable in. I like this. You don't have to pull on your skirt or wear uncomfy shoes or an underwire bra Yes, like it. So I think it's good to have a few kind of first date outfits that you look cute and sexy in, but that are also comfortable. I don't think you need to go out and, buy new outfits. And certainly don't wear, new shoes, something like that.
Oh,
That's
no.
really good advice. And of course, do not dress like a slob or look as though you didn't put any effort in at all. I am telling you, that is not a turn on. Looking that casual, seriously, it's one of the number one complaints that I've heard from women is men showing up like they didn't even think about it. And unless you're going on a hike, but I don't think that that's that likely. But if you are, it's acceptable then.
Yeah, and it's funny too because the hike with Navy guy, like he arrived and he's like wearing like kind of like khakis, but they were like hiking pants, but he like looked nice. And he's like, I am so embarrassed. I was doing laundry and like all of my shorts are gone. So I'm dressed for this hike. And I'm like, all right. But like I just wore leggings and workout clothes and like threw some mascara on. That is my vibe. So
all right.
You can look cute if you're still doing something active.
Yes. And you can make an effort if you're just doing something active. You should look, you want to impress people in the early days and in the late days of a relationship, and that's an easy way to do it.
Yeah.
So don't be late. Seriously, I would probably write you off if you were late. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine in general. So I think we should talk about this. I completely agree. Don't use pet names. It is condescending. So the only thing I'll say is that I know we have lots of Australian listeners, and having lived there for a while, it is men use pet names a lot more casually and in everyday conversation, which was very hard for me to get used to, but it's just more part of the culture and how they talk. And so I would say maybe, keep that in mind if you're living down under. It was hard for me to get used to, but I just realized that they just very casually will say things that we would probably hate.
Bristle at.
It's just a cultural thing.
Culturally, most Australian men that I've met would not be my vibe for reasons like that. And so I don't know if you're an Australian man dating American woman, like maybe tone down the pet names.
That's a good point,
you're
actually.
Totally in control of your speech, I hope. So, make an effort in that respect because it'll probably help your case.
Actually, when I was dating the kangaroo guy, I heard him calling like someone. He was having a professional call after we were dating. I stayed at his place, and he said doll.
No.
And I was like, what the hell is going on?
This is a professional conversation.
But I just came to realize that it's just a very casual thing. Yes, but I would say if you're make an effort if you're trying to woo an American woman. But I digress. Do ask questions. Please don't just sit there. Have things in mind that you want to ask.
Yeah. Ask them questions about themselves. Like you probably have an idea of like some things that they get up to from their dating profile or from like messaging them. So like dive deeper into those topics. Everyone loves talking about themselves, and like I think it just helps relax people too. So
I have some questions listed at the end that we can get to. And this is also another reason why I think you don't want to be DMing for weeks, because then you might have, given up a lot of the things that you could talk about when you get together in person.
Like, wow. So don't talk about your ex. That's probably self-evident to you by now if you've listened to our other episodes.
But not even casually.
Like don't even just like be like, oh, my ex liked those two.
Exactly.
Don't do
Exactly.
that.
I set two friends of mine up when I was in college, and God, I thought they were just made for each other, and they were both so excited about the date. And we did a group date. You know, I came with my partner, and we went to this fantastic wine bar. Oh my God. But anyways, when we got there, she was like, I have to be honest, I'm already a little turned off. And, you know, they had talked on the phone before the date, and they had talked about how they were going to this wine bar, and he had said, oh, my ex really loves wine or something. And she's like, you know, you just don't really bring that up before you even met a person.
No.
And it was innocent on his part, but I mean, you're right. You're like,
yeah.
So
Yeah, we know you've dated before.
Yeah.
Like, just for this 2 to 3 hours, pretend you've never dated anyone. Just don't talk about it. Don't mention them. If you feel so called to mention something that your ex had told you about, say, my friend told me about this place. Like, don't mention the ex. It's just like, it doesn't, even when it's so innocent and nothing is meant by it, it will be perceived as you're either bitter or you're not over it.
Well, exactly. And we talk, one of the top X-Files conversations is, am I ready to date again?
Yeah.
And what do we often say? How often do you bring your ex up in conversation?
Yeah.
And this is a good example. If you're just bringing them into the conversation for no reason, yeah, maybe you should throttle back a bit.
Throttle back just a little bit.
Also, this is good. And I want to talk about this. Don't talk about trauma.
Yes.
So something else that came up in the clubhouse room was someone saying that often on her dates, men will ask her, like, what happened in your last relationship, which I can't believe happens. But,
oh God.
And she says that, she had a really bad breakup and a bad relationship last time. And she said, so when I start telling them about it, they start feeling really bad for me, and the vibe goes away.
Yeah.
And we had such good answers to the question. And one of my friends said, it sounds like you need to write a different story about what happened.
Just if it comes up. Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe come from a more empowering place or a more positive place, or, just re-examine how, how you're talking about it.
Exactly. And you don't owe this person you're going on a first date, you don't owe them anything. You don't owe them I wouldn't lie and be like, yeah, I dated Prince Charles last. Like, that'd be weird and kind of creepy. That was like,
oh my
I'm
God,
born
I love
in the
that
wrong
example.
century, perhaps, for that. But you can be like, oh, I've had long-term relationships in the past, and I'm looking for another long-term relationship. Things just don't work out sometimes. I'm sure we'll talk about it more in the future. And leave it at that. Yeah.
I'm with you. My answer was, I don't think you need to be talking about this on a first date at all. Come up with a flirty way to change the subject.
Yeah, you could be like, that's information for later, winky face.
Or you could say, I don't think that's first date conversation. Or, with
you
like
can
a
be like
cute
coquettish about it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So, and if you're a guy, maybe don't ask about it anymore if you have been. Another thing that you shouldn't ask anymore if you have been is, why are you single?
This is the stupidest question.
It's slightly more stupid, but another one I've heard a lot is, why are you on the apps? Or how are the apps going for you? It's
my God, how are the apps going for you?
It was like, well, now that this conversation has started terribly.
It's just so icky.
Yeah. So I get that that's like the one thing you have in common right now, but like, you're either going to be like way too positive about it that it's weird, or you're going to be like, oh, it's been terrible. And now you're both like ragging on the apps, and it's like, you met there possibly. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. And then asking why you're single is like, it's like asking what's wrong with you.
There's so many
Like,
problems with this question. I mean, really, in this day and age, being in a relationship isn't the default.
no, it
It's all
isn't.
about choice. And I mean, there's so many reasons why this is wrong, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, and I think like maybe there's a reason why you're asking that. Like maybe you want to know if someone has been like single by choice. I feel like there's other ways possibly to find that out than, you know, I don't
Well,
know.
again, I just
How
don't
would
think it's, even if you want to find that out, I still don't think it's first date conversation.
No, not
If you
first
need,
date.
you'll, get to know about a person's past as you get to know
Yeah.
them.
Establish that you want to get to know someone's past on the first date, and then from there you
Yeah.
actually start to like learn about it. You want to make sure you have like a little bit of fun together first. So, okay.
Agreed. All right, let's talk about a few things. So, what do you think, Claire? Do or do not talk about sex on a first date?
So I think that if it comes up naturally, you can like roll with it if it happens to happen. Like if it happens to come up in conversation, um, like keep it light and keep
Mhm.
it flirty. Like if you have had sexual trauma in the past, like this is not probably the time to disclose that, just because you don't have to disclose that to strangers that you're not even sure you're gonna have sex with. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
so I think, if you are being really careful about like your past trauma, especially sexual, like then maybe flirtily like brush this off. If it does come up, I wouldn't be like, so what are you into sexually? That
Yeah,
wouldn't be
I,
a
I agree.
question.
I think the only time I would think that would be appropriate is if there's maybe an understanding based on how you've met, that
Yeah.
maybe you're looking for a sexual,
Yeah,
based relationship, or someone, to do
that would
quote
be different.
research with, or,
Yeah.
but you would have already established that. And I still don't think you should have sex on a first date, even if maybe you talked about it. But if
Yeah.
you're, meeting in the hopes of, finding a partner, and it's not, sex based. Yeah, I would say
It's
leave
not
it
a one
out.
night stand that you're looking
Mm,
for. Yeah, so those are my feelings about that. I think just keep it like very surface level if it does arise in conversation like
yeah.
naturally. Um, what do you think? Do or don't go to a second location?
So I really, really, really believe in the drinks or 1 hour long first dates. I really
Yeah.
do. Unless, you had experiences like me where you already knew the person. I just
Yeah.
think that it's a very, very, very good method. And so I would say typically not, look, if you're really, having such a good time, I don't know, fine, go to a second place. But I don't think there should be any expectation that that's
Yeah.
an indication of a good date. And I think you both need to think about what your first hour together was like before you go and make plans and start with the, writing a story about the date and the
Yeah.
relationship.
Exactly.
This also came up in the clubhouse room recently. And one of my colleagues said that one of his first date tips was making sure that he has a second place plan to go to if it's going well. And
Oh,
I actually pushed back and I said, you know
nice.
what, even if the first date is going really, really well for me, I still want to have the boundary of going
Yeah.
home and thinking about it after. And I
Yeah.
don't want the pressure to go somewhere else. And so I said, I actually don't think you should have a second place because that's still an expectation. And
Yeah.
also, I don't want the person who I am going out with to think that because I didn't go to the second place, that's an indication of how I feel about them. Because it might not be. It might just be that this is just you're like, I'm gonna keep what I said I was gonna do. I might really
Yeah.
like you. That doesn't mean I want to go to a second place when that's not what I had planned for the night.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, it's a first date. You don't have to fit all of this bonding in. Like it's really it's just for the purpose of figuring out if you want to go on a second date. Like and I think, we've talked about like chemistry versus compatibility and like on the first date when you don't feel like there's chemistry but you have a really good time. go on that second date and, you know, get to know this person more, and it could actually be a slow burn.
Yeah, I had a client use that rule really recently and let me know that she was so glad that she did.
Yay.
Yeah,
Oh my
I know.
God. Yeah, because like all you're testing for is just that you have like a decent time and you would do it again. That's all you're going for on the first date.
Yeah, agreed. Yes.
Yeah.
It is not going to be, it shouldn't be fireworks. It's not necessarily going to.
Yeah.
This is not the time for the magical first kiss. This is,
Yeah.
yes, like you said, deciding if you want the second date.
Yeah.
You know, leave. I do think there's something to be said about building a bit of anticipation.
Yeah.
And that's another reason I just think keep it to the hour long,
Yeah.
you know, chit chat, coffee, whatever.
Yep.
So I think coffee on a date is not my cup of tea, but
yeah. Oh, it's not. No, you're like, I want a bar and I want it at night.
Yeah.
I like the whole like there was I was listening to a podcast, I can't remember her name, but she's like a dating coach or something, and she said that like what she would always do is she'd like send a text, like she'd arrange to get coffee, and like, you know, the day before or whatever, she'd be like, hey, just FYI, I'm coming from the gym, so like don't feel like you need to be too fancy. Because like she would still look cute and everything, but she'd be in her workout clothes, like get the coffee. And she said the great thing about this too is because like if they like you and they're into you after that first date, and on the second date you dress up and you go out to dinner, like they are gonna be like jaw on the floor because you're like, they're like, oh damn, like
yeah, I do think there's something
like when she tries.
yeah there's something to be said, I think, for a first date, because it is a little more cash, but that's also why I like happy hour dates, because it's 5 p.m. and you know, you can also be a little cash.
So next question, after the date, do you call, do you text, who texts calls first, how does that work, how should it work?
I can talk about my preferences.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I have a couple preferences. First of all, I kind of need to date someone who's willing to take the lead. Yeah. I feel like I play that role in just almost every like aspect of my life. And I do it in a way that I feel like I'm getting shit done. And I like that about myself a lot, but it's also a little bit of pressure, which is good. It's like healthy pressure for sure. But I really want in my personal life and with the person I'm dating to not play that role and to be like kind of relieved of that role. Yeah. If that makes sense, I hope it does. Yeah. And so I love being with someone who can, you know, like I said, take the lead. So hearing from the person who I want to date or the person who's pursuing me is exciting. It actually like turns me on. Like this is a turn on for me, seeing, you know, someone take the initiative for sure. Like hot. Yeah. That being said, if I go on a first date with you, I really don't need a text the next morning asking me how I am or how I slept. I cannot tell you how much this irritates me. Yeah. And it happens all the time. Okay. I feel like texting someone in the morning saying good morning is something that your partner does. I don't think you need to do that when you've met someone one time. Like I said, I just find it very irritating. I find it kind of needy. I know we try to avoid using that word, but I don't know how else to describe it. So, you know, checking in with me the next day, a couple days later about maybe not hooking up again, but getting together again, or, you know, letting me know that you'd like to hang out again. That's awesome. But let's, you know, keep it casual. I just met you. Yeah.
I agree that like the next morning, like good morning, beautiful, or like how are you feeling? That's weird. If a guy waited the 3 days to call me or text me, I would have already written him off.
Yeah, I'd be so like, I think interested. I think a good rule of thumb would be a text in the next day or two saying I'd like to go out with you again, and then seeing if it's reciprocal or not.
Yeah, I mean, even 2 days, I'd be like, on to the next.
Okay.
So
All right. I
that
think I'd be all
like,
right with 2 days, but
yeah,
also, I'd like to go very slow with dating and yeah, I'd be all right with it
yeah. Or
personally.
like a gentlemanly text to like make sure I got home that night is like just saying, hey, I had a good time, glad you got home safe. Or
Yeah.
like wanted to make sure you got home safe. Like I think that would be cool. And then you could wait like days and days before messaging me again and it would be fine. If
Yeah.
I just don't hear anything, I'm I'm emotionally like whatever about this person.
Yeah. You're right.
Um,
You're right. Mhm.
yeah, so that's my thing. I think yeah, definitely the good morning text. It's way too soon.
I can't tell you though how often it happens.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't
So
know. Yeah, and like I talked to my boyfriend, my current boyfriend, about this and he was like, "Yeah, if I didn't message someone for 3 days, I'm not into them. I don't like them." Like, you
yeah,
know.
that's a good point. I think make it known in an
Yeah.
appropriate way and probably, yeah, early on. Because
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to see a person again, start to
Yeah.
build the anticipation and the chemistry and yeah, let them know. Also make them feel
Exactly.
special. You can make them feel special without saying good morning, beautiful. And
Yeah.
it could just be like, I'd like to hang out again. Well, how do you feel about it? Last night was great
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, so I guess we're rooting for a move away from the good morning beautifuls for guys that are not your like in a relationship with
Yeah.
you. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so next, do or don't talk about politics. Yeah, so this is a big one. I think it depends how you feel about politics, right? So
Okay.
there are it I think it's like you will very quickly you'll either so when I brought this up with my boyfriend, I'm like, what do you think? He's like, if a girl brings up politics, I am not interested on the first date.
I don't get
And
that.
yeah.
Oh, because he's not as confident maybe talking about it?
Yeah, exactly. Because
Okay.
it's not like if you're doing marches and you're like petitioning the government and things like that, you should talk about politics on the first date because you want to turn off people like my boyfriend who is
Yeah.
not going to be like gnar with you about it.
Well,
Like,
see, for me, that's part of my screening process is I
exactly.
would make sure that the person was on the same page with me politically before
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
having the
yeah.
conversation get too far. And you know
Yeah.
what? Honestly, I'd probably put something about it in my bio.
Yeah. So here's the thing too. He clarified as well. He's like, maybe don't be like, are you left or right if you're in America? I'm not as familiar with because I'm American world
It's not as
politics.
much of an issue in other countries, I
It's
assure you.
not as much of an issue in
Yeah.
other countries. But he did say talk about smaller pieces. Like say, women's rights are obviously very, very important to me and to Janice and to a lot of our listeners. He's like, bring up things like that, but don't like couch it in politics. Be like, you could like bring up like, oh, what was like one of the coolest things, like experiences that you've had? And once they tell you, you could be like, yeah, I did the women's march and like knit all these pussy hats for everyone. And
Aw.
that'll give you a pretty good idea of how that person will receive that information. And it'll
That's
give
good.
them an idea of what your politics are, right?
I also think something that just popped into my mind is you could talk about something that's been in the news.
Yeah.
And that would, inform you as to how
Yeah.
important the news is to the person and also perhaps how they feel about a particular issue.
Exactly. But you're not being like, did you vote for Biden? Like,
I mean, I again, for me, that
Yeah.
is, non-negotiable. But yeah, I see completely what you're saying.
Yeah.
Or what your partner is saying.
Yeah. So I guess, dear listener, take away from this what you will. Like,
Yeah.
who are you? That will inform what you do with this one. So yeah, I don't think it's something that we can say like 100% do or don't do this,
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about the things that are important to you and your interests. So yeah, you're right. You know what? There could be so many ways to go with this particular guideline. And also, I would say you could probably suss some of this out in the DMs if you're meeting online.
Yeah. Cool.
Should we get to some of our debatable topics?
Yes. So these are the ones that I think I don't know. Some of them I'm like, Janice might disagree with me, so I put them in here. So number 1, don't get tipsy. And when I say tipsy, I don't mean be like, oh, I got a little buzz. Like, don't even get to like, I've got a little buzz. And here's my argument. I have done most of my dates stone cold sober. Raw dogging first dates might be not your cup of tea, but if you have a good time when you are fully sober with someone, you know you want to go on a second date. I'm hilarious. If I drink a single drink, I will be like, I had such a good time because I was like so funny and blah, blah, blah. And then I realized later down the road that I only like being around this person because I'm great. And like,
okay.
You know, so I had kind of like, I had that realization dating someone that I'm like, I literally drink every time I see them and I don't have a good time if I'm not drinking.
Okay.
So, and that's not who I'm looking for in a partner.
Okay. I guess I disagree in the sense that I have, just made it clear that I like having drinks on a first date. I want to be with someone who can absolutely control their alcohol.
Yeah.
And so I guess I'd want to know that a person can have a drink or two without getting sloppy. I absolutely do not think you should get drunk on a first date. I think that that's just not a good look. And also, I don't know. I think there's something to be said for wanting to take the edge off when you're nervous about meeting someone. So that's another reason I think that that's a good first date. So I guess I disagree to a certain extent.
Yeah. See, this is one area where I have like an uncommon opinion that I'm really staunch about. And like, if date number 1 sounds impossible without a drink or two, then try it on the second date. I just think that, you need to know if this person is actually like someone you enjoy being around without like influencing your body chemistry. That said, one of my main selling points for hikes is that you're releasing endorphins together and bonding in that way. So like you are affecting your body chemistry. So
well, and personally, I feel like I can differentiate between, what am I trying to say? For me, I don't think I'm so clouded by having a couple drinks that I would go out with someone who's kind of a jerk. I feel like I can still decide if I want to see someone again.
Yeah.
Even with a couple drinks in me personally, but I completely see where you're going with that. And I think it's could really work for some people. So.
Nice. Yeah. I think I speak from my own experience on that one where I'm like, do it sober.
Yeah.
But
I'm just trying to think if I've been on any first dates where alcohol made it go really wrong. Oh, I don't know.
It's not, I've definitely had drinks on the first date too. Like, but yeah, I mean, I didn't date any of those people again. I think I had a drink after I knew. I was like, all right, I'm gonna order a drink because we're gonna have a good time tonight and I'm never gonna see you again.
That's a really good point as well. If the date's not going well, that helps a lot.
Start having some drinks. Okay, cool. So next up, be fully you. And what I mean by this is like, I want people to self-select out. I want people to be like, no. To me, I want to be like my most vibrant version of myself. That means like sharing my real thoughts, bringing my sense of humor, and I know Janice is gonna hate this, but being my grossest tomboy self. Like, if you can't hang, like, I want to find out on the first date.
Okay.
And
yeah. I probably wouldn't show up being my grossest tomboy self.
No.
I'm also not, I don't identify with that at all.
Yeah.
So I do like to get dressed up and, kind of play upon my femininity and my sexiness in the initial dates for sure. I definitely want to be with a man who's drawn to that.
Yeah.
So I think that's not, but I don't really feel like I overplay it, but I do definitely emphasize it for sure. Also, it's a little related to some of my kinks, which is, heavily play upon my femininity. And so, I wouldn't say though that I'm not being myself, but yeah, I do.
Yeah, I guess
I put it out there.
You are being yourself. Because there are like a lot of the guys that some of the guys that I have dated would not go for a courtesan as you're like, that's how Janice, I think you've in the past described like
the vibe I'm going
yourself on dates. Like that wouldn't be their thing. So like, but I do like being treated like a lady. It's not that. It's just you should treat me like a lady even when I'm making dirty jokes.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
So, like so I kind of like when I get that little feeling like, ooh, maybe you shouldn't say that because they might not like it, I for sure say it because I want to either this person is going to say she's the fucking best person in the whole world and I can't wait to see her again. Or they're like, hell no, I don't like her. No, it's not. Yeah. I'm like, no middle of the road people for me.
Yeah.
So
gotcha.
Yeah. So that's kind of like how I think about it.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm just, I think I'm trying to be sexy and alluring and, and also telling dirty jokes is not my vibe either. But yeah, I like what you're saying. And you were saying this to me on the phone the other day, that you like to, really put it out there to help weed people out.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and weirdly, it like doesn't bother me if someone is like turned off by me being myself because I'm like, oh, they just don't like me.
Yeah.
But for other people that be like, oh, they don't like me, like that would be
gotcha.
worse. But I
don't know. I've dated guys who were really, really into, my womanliness, and I keep that going though. The more serious we get, and it's just.
Different
what I like.
Style for sure.
Like even if we were to be hanging around the house, I would still, make sure that I was wearing something cute and had my legs shaved and my nails painted and smelled good. To be honest.
Smell good for sure. I'll do that. And I'll look cute for sure. I just might not be like emphasizing femininity, I guess. Yeah, because I think that I almost like associate men who are really looking for like a ladylike partner to be not agreeing with me politically usually.
Yeah, I mean, and I would say that's not been my experience, but I see where you're getting that.
Yeah, so I don't know. Okay, so next step, don't be humble about your accomplishments.
Okay.
You're a fucking badass, and as women, that can sometimes intimidate men. Unfortunately, just let them be intimidated. You want to be an equal, and an equal will not shrink back from your power. I have had that experience where there's only a couple guys I dated, and it definitely did not last, who were like, I want to be the breadwinner. And like, yes, I want a guy to be able to take care of himself and shit, but I would love to have a trophy husband and be the breadwinner. And
I like
be
that.
this like badass woman. And then like in the bedroom, I'll be like submissive. That's fine.
Yeah. That's hot though. Role reversal in the bedroom.
Yeah.
That's sexy.
So it also like that comes a lot from my upbringing. So I'm an only child. If you never guessed that before, you probably have. And like my dad does all the cooking. He is the breadwinner, but like a lot of gender roles were reversed. Like being raised, I worked on cars. I did all of the like, building stuff around the house and shit. And I typically even MAGA guy who was like manliness. Oh, sorry. What? He doesn't know how to use a fucking screwdriver. So like,
yeah,
or
I
cook.
also,
And
yeah,
I'm
I
like,
like
what
the
are you
masculine
doing?
attributes.
Yeah, exactly. So like, yeah, it's a turn on if a guy knows how to do things that are manly, but I want him to also be impressed and turned on that I can do things like my boyfriend, he tried to replace his headlights, and he went to like the auto place to like buy them. He bought them. He tried to do it outside, and even the guy behind the counter was trying to help him, and he couldn't. They're like, oh, I think we have to take it to the shop because you have to like remove this one piece to get in there. And I'm like, take it to my house. You're okay. We're gonna figure it out. We watched one YouTube video, and I'm like, you just unscrew this, and it's easy, and we did it. And like,
there's a certain level of competence that I think is a good thing in life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So but for women too. So
yeah, absolutely. I probably want to know how to change a light, but I would be very turned on by someone who did.
Yeah, exactly. But if a guy was turned off by the fact that I was like, don't take it to the shop, I'll just do it, that's not going to be my guy.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I think if someone's really turned off by like your opinions or how you like something, that that is a good sign. For instance, I had someone get really shitty with me once when we were at a restaurant, and after I got my glass of wine, a bug came in it. And so I asked them for a new one. I would never just pull it out with a spoon and keep drinking it. And he just was so outraged. And I'm like, this is me.
It's like, you're
I'm not going to sit here at a nice restaurant.
You drink it.
That's not how I see it.
Yeah, well, clearly he did. I don't think that was unreasonable of you.
Yeah, so I agree. Don't shrink back from your power. I think you can, talk about your accomplishments in a classy way. And also, I guess I would say, as far as the first date goes, it's also trying to pull things out of the other person. And so, I guess my only pushback would be if a person is just kind of going on and on about it. It's, not really why we're there.
Yeah. Oh, I just thought of something. So I've never like fully listened to one of these podcasts, but I see the clips come up occasionally where it's like some guy being like, and then she was talking about how much money she made. And I'm like, you just disqualified yourself from dating me because
what podcast are you
because apparently if a woman can support herself, that means that this like
she doesn't need it.
It's a what is it, the con artist guys, the pickup artists, it's like a pickup artist type thing.
Okay.
Because like if she has independence, then she's not going to be like reliant enough on you.
Oh, well.
So I read it as a bad sign if someone's not down my accomplishments,
Yeah, well, also I really want to be with people who are equally ambitious. And so if someone can meet me in a conversation about, all the great things that I do, or me talking about how excited I am about my work or my podcast or my business, that's a good indication that, we're going to get on well.
Yeah. Cool.
So, and like we're just saying, do talk about things that are important to you. Do not just be neutral. That I can't get down with someone who, you can't really get a sense for.
Yeah. Cool. All All right. So Janice's rules that Claire disagrees with.
All right. This has been an ongoing conversation, but I don't want to say it on the air. But
okay.
All right.
No pooping at their house. I guess.
See, I can't even say it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like what I was talking about earlier about being like your grossest tomboy self. Like I will say poop. Like
yeah, and see, I there's many bodily function related words that I don't even like really saying.
Oh my God, which is crazy to me because I'm like, well, I'm not saying I'm shitting at their house, but like I'm not like describing the shape of my poop to my first date. So there we go.
No, this is the anti-Janice.
Yeah. So, but I mean, you shouldn't be going to their house anyway. I included that because of our 500 Days of Summer episode, was it?
It was actually Valentine's
Day. Yeah.
Or was it he's just not that into you?
Oh, it was he's just not that into you. Yeah, because it was like side characters describing how they knew whether someone was into you. And one character described, he's like, if they poop at your house or get food to go, that means they're not into you.
Yes, because both things are really not sexy at all.
They're not in the bathroom with you. Or somewhere else. There's a fan. It's made to do this.
Yeah.
So you're like,
also, like, how would you even know what someone's doing in the bathroom? That's
exactly.
Kind of what I
Am I pooping or peeing? Are you listening outside? That's weird.
Yeah, I would not make it known what I was doing. You know, I'd go out of my way, which I have painstakingly got out of my way on many occasions to make sure it wasn't known what I was doing.
If you're making me hold my natural urges in, I am not happy.
It's all about building the allure.
So sometimes it's inconvenient, but yeah. Okay, so the getting food box to go. I have never been so shocked to hear that you don't do that. Because like you're gonna waste the food that like hopefully this guy paid for, and you're just gonna like leave it on the plate. Just make him carry it around the whole time because he's a gentleman, right?
No.
Yes.
I disagree.
What?
Like just sitting there holding a plastic baggie.
Yeah. You just carry, if you're like if the date is extending, like I mean, first of all, also, this is a first date we're talking about specifically. Well, you're probably not going to a second place, but like walking to your car or whatever, or to the Uber, carry your food, and then you have leftovers.
I don't know. I think this is very relationship-y.
Oh my God. Well,
also, if I was going to
waste,
I don't know. If I'm ever going somewhere after the restaurant, like I don't need the leftovers so bad that I'm going to carry it around in my bag.
But
what if it smells or gets in your bag or just it's
not
just
gonna
awkward.
Go bad like that quick.
I don't know.
It's gonna smell like food that's cooling slowly until you get home, and then
okay. What they said he's not that into you is if a woman does this on one of the first 3 dates.
Which is insane. I think if I ever have food left over, I'm getting it in a box to go. And I shared that with my boyfriend, and he was shocked and horrified as well. He was like, if I was waiting on someone and she left the food because like she was worried about it like carrying, he was like,
no, you don't have to say I'm worried about carrying it. You just say no thank you, or not even no thank you. You just wouldn't ask for it to be boxed up.
I know, it just like it looks like you didn't enjoy it then if you're like leaving, well,
I'm not going to eat everything on my plate. Probably I'd be too stuffed.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we disagree on this. So
I did
as
take
you can
the
tell,
sushi.
Do what is good for you, I guess.
Yes, for sure.
Wait, you would get takeaway for sushi?
Oh, well, the last time I had sushi, I did go by myself though. And I did take the leftover rolls.
Wait, do you not usually get takeaway even by yourself?
I guess not. Yeah. I mean, because it stands out to me that I did save the sushi rolls. Yeah, I guess I don't. And I go out to eat a lot. So yeah, I guess not.
Oh my God.
I don't.
How are we friends?
I guess also when I go out, I tend to not eat as healthy as I do at home.
Yeah.
And so I think that's also an aspect to it. Like, this
Yeah.
is my going out food. I don't really need to have this to eat after, because it's probably
Okay.
not as healthy as I would normally
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
So
I
why do
guess
I
you're
need to
more
have it a second
particular
time?
about food than I am. Yeah.
Well, we've definitely.
I'm like burger, fries, grease.
Yeah, Sam, but I don't want to have that at home.
Yeah.
Uh.
I currently have half of a burger in my fridge ready for lunchtime. Okay, so last one is be a lady, an enigma, a courtesan.
This is
I'm
energy
not
I try to embody.
mysterious, I guess. I'm mysterious about my dating history on the first date for sure. I'm not like, yeah, I'm not being, I guess, crazy, outlandish or anything. Like I'm being polite and everything, but I'm not going for enigma or,
I
a
don't know if enigma is
courtesan. Like,
quite
it's
right,
not
because I do
quite.
like to be authentic with people,
Yeah.
but I think that the courtesan and like energy is just something that I've kind of
Yeah.
tried to bring into most aspects of my life.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, not even though I'm sitting here in a tank top and leggings, but it's 8 a.m. So
see, that's my sexy first date outfit. So we got differences.
All right. Oh my God, this is going to be a marathon episode.
Oh no.
All right, but I do want to talk about this. Where to go on a first date?
Yes.
Obviously, we have said many times, do a 1 hour drinks or whatever the
Coffee.
equivalent might be. Yeah, okay. So somewhere with activities. I like this as long as you can keep it short and sweet. Claire, do you want to tell everyone about Pindustry?
Yeah, so Pindustry is in it's near my house, but there's bowling, but it's more than that. There's like cornhole, there's like table tennis tables, there's a whole like rooftop area with like a view. They have lots of activities. So even if you don't like bowling, you can go there and just not bowl. And it has food and drinks as well. So you can get like appetizers and stuff. You can be talking, you can have an activity. Like there's just so many options. I think it's a great place for a first date.
Yep. I think I would say at least an initial date. It does sound like a very, very good spot to test the waters, get to know someone, see what type of fun you have with them. Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah. So that kind of embodied the idea of like have an activity that you can do together. Like honestly, this just came into my head, but like what about it's not bingo, but it's where you're answering questions in a bar. Trivia night. That would be a cool first date.
Yeah, maybe. I get really intimidated when I play trivia because I feel like really put on the spot. I feel like people think I'm going to have all the answers.
Oh, no.
Same with when I play Scrabble. Everyone always wants to play Scrabble with me because I'm a writer. God. And it actually puts this pressure on me that makes me almost freeze up and not be able to play.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if I'd for sure do that. Maybe. I do like going to trivia, but it's more of a group friend thing for me than a date, I think.
Yeah, it just came into my mind. Mini golf, potentially.
I actually think bingos would be better than trivia.
Bingo? Yeah. It's not a skill based.
You just dot things.
And there's something happening while you're talking, basically. Yeah. So another one, nowhere too expensive unless that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for a sugar mama or daddy, then go somewhere expensive because you want to like ex-nay the people who are not down. Okay. Your favorite.
I just want to say, I want to go into this a little bit more. So I'm not sure that I totally agree with the not too expensive because I like going to expensive places.
Yeah.
Okay. So my favorite place for a first date is either a sexy or plushy or a 1920-ish mixology bar or like a lower key themed bar that's still nice.
Yeah.
And this is why. right, so it's a bit special. It gives you something to talk about. The fact that you're at, a unique, unusual place. It has good alcohol, which I like good drinks, but because they are a little more expensive and because, someone has to make them, you're not as likely to overdo it with the alcohol.
Yeah.
Because you probably will just have one or two if they're, 15 to 20 bucks each.
Yeah.
It's good to see how the other person responds to being in a setting that is a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
I have a hard time getting down with people who don't know how to be in a fancy place. So, and of course, because I like hanging out in these places, I like to see how the other person reacts to being in them. And of course, it is still a bar. And so there's no obligation to stay for more than one or two drinks.
Yeah.
So it's just the whole package.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I think that's good. Yeah. I think it's a preference thing too about like what you're looking for. Like nowhere too expensive has come up a lot on like my research and everything. But I think that's also like relative to the people who are going on the date, right? So I think the point is you're not like bankrupting yourself or like
for the first
draining your
date,
account for a first date. So
agreed.
Cool. So don't go to someone's house. Don't have them over to your house. Just don't do it.
No, it doesn't
Leave
matter
the
how
house.
much they want to make dinner for you. This is not first date friendly.
No. Go somewhere you like. Go somewhere that you've been before or you at least know the area around it, like you've walked by it. I like having an idea of the, the territory and the escape routes.
I like that. I like that. No, I think it's good to have maybe be in a place where you have a level of comfort.
Yeah.
And I got this from an X-Files listener who thought that she thought an escape room was the perfect first date. I chatted with her a little bit about this. I don't necessarily agree, nor do I like going to escape rooms. And so that wouldn't be my jam at all. But she thought that it was fun. It gave you something to talk about. You saw how the other person responded to certain
Well, you'll find out very
stressors.
quickly. I think what someone is like in an escape room. So
you're
like 1 hour and I will have a good idea about how this person responds to stress. So there's that, really, and there is someone watching over a camera to make sure you're safe. So,
I could see this.
I could see this. I wouldn't do it for like every date. I think because there are some people
you could just go to the same escape room,
and you're just like, I know the answers, but I won't tell you. You got this. I'm just watching to see how smart you are. No pressure. Okay. So I don't know about escape room, but it could be cool.
So just some ideas. We hope it goes well for everyone. And I thought that we might want to end with just a few topics of conversation or questions that you could bring up with people.
I love it.
So this was yet another thing that came up in the clubhouse room a couple weeks ago. I feel like you want to have probing questions that are interesting, but without really sitting down and interviewing the person. Some of the questions that people suggested, I just thought, it just doesn't feel natural.
Oh my God,
but no. I've come up with a list. So maybe we can each read 5 of them. You want to start?
Sure. So, we're starting with a bang here. Like, don't have this be your first question, but what's your family life like, or what's your family like? Because then you'll just kind of get an idea of what's important to them, what their experience has been. And it's also, it could be like, it's not a high pressure way to sort those things out. So
it's something that everyone can talk about as well. I like asking people if they have siblings. For some reason, I find that interesting.
No, that's a good way. I like that. Yeah, because us only children,
it's interesting.
Be a handful. Okay, so what do you do to hang out and pass the time? Like another version would be like, what are your hobbies? Or like, if you have an idea of what their hobbies are, you can be like, oh my God, so diving is so crazy. Like, what's the craziest dive you've ever been on? Or something. So, what's your favorite thing to do on a Sunday morning?
This is a lifestyle thing for me.
That.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
I really like this question. It's also something that I find completely interesting. I like, it's something that I, am genuinely curious about, excuse me. So I think some people are going to think this is cheesy, but I would like to know what a person likes to watch on television.
Yeah.
I feel like I have very specific tastes and enjoy watching things on television that are, very high quality and also have, direct links to my interests. For instance, I like to watch history stuff and true crime shows, to be honest. Well, not to be honest. I mean, I don't think it's that weird. Anyways,
no, it's not
so
weird.
how a person responds to this question, I feel like, like I said, I find it interesting. And also it says a lot about someone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker necessarily, but I think it's a good conversation. This I would say is a semi deal breaker for me. Ooh. I would ask, do you like to read? And if so, what? It's borderline for me. I know that not everyone likes to read, but it would at least be a big plus if they did.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of the best questions. What's the best trip you've ever taken?
Yes. I like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So yes.
I was just gonna say we ran through this. This is gonna be a long episode.
Well, it's a really, really fun episode. I had such a lot of fun talking with you about the things we agree with, the things we don't agree with, the different ways that we show up dating. We're different people, and so I think it's great that we have different perspectives on this. You know what? And it's gotten me even more excited about dating again.
Yeah.
If you liked this episode, we would be thrilled if you would leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. It is a gift to us for you to do that. And it helps people find the show.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on.
If you liked this episode, please help others find us by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or by following the show on Spotify.
And if you'd like to connect more with us and learn about breakup coaching, find us on Instagram at X-Files Podcast.